us just need to have a bigger conversation about the beauty standards that we're setting.
Black History Month or me?
Black History Month.
I thought a BBL was going to change my life. The reasons why I regret my BBL. And one of the reasons why is because I thought that I was going to be making more money.
An autopsy report obtained by TMZ and Page 6 lists her cause of death as complications from cosmetic surgery.
Death of humanity is social media. The reality is we've created a world of FOMO. It's false FOMO. The thing you're missing out isn't even real.
You're comparing your life to people who are literally lying online. I'll tell you right now, things are not what they seem. All you are seeing is what they want you to see. You are seeing a highlight reel, a very curated one.
Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Jasmine, and today we're talking about how social media is aging you. And I don't just mean physically, I mean spiritually, mentally, and emotionally as well. Have you noticed that everyone's starting to look the same? From BBLs to lash extensions to wigs, no one's being original anymore. I can honestly say I've seen the emergence of BBL culture since the Kardashians. However, that's not the only negative side effects that social media has had on us. I see a lot of monitoring spirit comments, FOMO, fear of missing out, endless hours of doom scrolling, and we're not really taking the time to see how much this comparison is actually impacting us. That's what I want to get into today, the negative impacts of social media, because it's not only draining you, it's aging you. And before we get into it, I just want to say, these are just my lighthearted takes, so please don't come for me. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this video so you'll be the first to know when I drop the next one. Okay, let's get into it. When I was in middle school, I remember always watching Keeping Up with Kardashians. The show started in 2007 and it covered this Armenian family, all these different sisters, and they had this glamorous lifestyle. However, as they started to gain more popularity, I noticed that their enhancements in their physical appearance started to change, especially with their bodies. Kim was probably one of the first people out of the family to get a Brazilian butt lift, although in the beginning she claimed she hadn't had any work done.
People don't want to believe it. My butt is real.
No implant. This is
Shocker.
Kim.
However, that quickly changed as we saw her shape start to kind of, be a little bit more curvaceous.
Kardashians have never been very honest about the work that they have had done to their bodies, but it was very obvious that there was a big difference from this Kim to this Kim.
Not only that, some of the other family members started to get enhancements as well, getting the same surgeries. But because Kim was so popular during the time, because it was the early emergence of social media, they wanted that body, they wanted that look, they wanted the image, and they were doing anything and everything possible to achieve that same look. However, they weren't looking at the downsides of how a BBL could really affect them. According to this doctor, BBL surgery, which is a Brazilian butt lift, is one of the most riskiest and most dangerous surgeries you can undergo.
Extraordinarily dangerous. It turns out it's the most dangerous, not only plastic surgery procedure, it's the most dangerous operation there is with the highest fatality rate. And I'll tell you why. You take fat from one part of your body, typically the abdomen, you process it, and you inject in the buttock. Sounds easy, right? The problem is there's these very small little veins in the buttock that lead directly to the vena cava, which is the major blood vessel that brings blood back from your body to your heart, to your lungs. If you get fat in those little vessels and it gets in the main vena cava and goes to your lungs, it's over. I recommend people back away from Brazilian butt lifts.
But the real question is, why are so many women risking their lives literally to achieve just a look? A physical look that they may not have been necessarily designed or built for to achieve in the first place. What I really like about this interview with Kylie is that she was very honest about the surgeries that she done finally, because for a while the Kardashians weren't really honest about the work that they've gotten done. I don't know why. It was very apparent, but I like that she was saying how if her daughter came to her at 19, she would tell her, like, I definitely don't think you should get surgery because you don't need it.
Obviously, I never got them done to begin with. Yeah, obviously I have a daughter too. I would be heartbroken if she wanted to get her body done at 19. And she's the most beautiful thing ever. I want to be like the best mom and best example for her. And I wish I could be her and do it all differently. Because I wouldn't touch anything.
That's another thing for all these young women that get the BBLs, because a lot of them are really young. You got to realize your body hasn't come in yet. It hasn't fully developed. So give it some time. Don't feel pressured. With social media, you're scrolling, you're seeing the comments. And to be honest, a lot of these Instagram models and influencers that are more curvaceous, they have more attention, they have more likes, but that's not the only type of attention that you should be seeking, in my opinion.
I get why women wants to enhance themselves. I get it. But fellas, we have to do more on just continuously telling our women that they're beautiful. You're enough.
An autopsy report obtained by TMZ and Page 6 lists her cause of death as complications from cosmetic surgery.
We've all heard about influencer Jackie O. She did a mommy makeover about 2 to 3 years ago, and unfortunately she passed away due to complications from the surgery. I think that that's very vital to pay attention to, because when you go under these risky type surgeries, there is a high possibility that you may not make it or you may not wake up with the results.
Second surgery wasn't to my liking. Like, I'm okay with the results for the most part, but I really felt like I was gonna die. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I felt like I was literally on my deathbed on the 5th day of my recovery, and it was just like a wake-up call. It was like, this is crazy that I did this to myself, and I didn't really need to. Like, I always had a really nice natural body, and it was kind of just a situation of I tried to fix what wasn't broken, and it ended up, getting like bad.
I really admire that this influencer, Winter, she was talking about how bad her recovery process was. She wasn't happy with her first surgery. She didn't like the doctor's results, and she ended up going a few other surgeries just to achieve the look that she desired. But as I'm looking at this trend, as I'm looking at different videos from all these women that have gotten the surgery, they're all saying the same thing. I wish I hadn't have done it.
Let me tell y'all something. The dumbest thing I think I ever did was get this BBL.
I thought a BBL was going to change my life. The reasons why I regret my BBL. And one of the reasons why is because I thought that I was going to be making more money.
Some women saying, I thought I was going to make more money based off the look or the appearance. So to me, it seems like a lot of these women underwent the surgery, not necessarily because of something that they wanted to do for themselves, but because of how society would treat them or how they would receive certain type of attention based on how they looked, which is not all the way true, as we can see in this clip.
Black History Month or me?
Black History Month.
Why Black History Month?
Because I believe in my blackness. Everything now is superficial.
Okay. Yeah, me ate me up.
Now, I'm not sure why this woman thought that this man would choose Black History Month over a BBL, but she was definitely stunned and surprised by his response. She thought for sure he was going to say, oh yeah, I choose your body. Your body isn't the only thing that you have to offer. Have brains, have, hobbies and traits and all different types of things that fill you up internally. I can see that a lot of these women are not filled emotionally. They're chasing validation, which is temporary. It's fleeting. You're always going to be searching for the next like, the next comment, the next compliment, because you're not full or filled within. I'm really curious to see how this trend is going to be, because it's still present. You still see BBLs, you still see people getting them. However, it's not as popular, I should say, or as common as it was, especially, a couple years ago. But that just goes to show we shouldn't be making our bodies a trend. We shouldn't be influenced by, what trend is going around or what look. We should be secure within ourselves and staying true to our individuality. Beauty comes in all different shapes and sizes. As someone who has always been naturally petite in her whole life, but has tried multiple times to put on the weight, it's not as easy as you may think. And a lot of people judge. I remember when I first went to the gym, this woman came up to me unprovoked, was like, what are you doing here? Working out, building muscle, minding my business. Just because you are uncomfortable with the way that you look doesn't mean that you have to project your insecurities on someone else. The conditioning of the, American beauty standards, slim, petite, blonde hair, blue eyes, it's time that we rework that narrative and realize that what you see in the mirror is beautiful. How God designed you, how he created you is more than enough. We don't have to go chasing this look that, to be honest, is unrealistic for each person's body type. We're all not meant to have this look, this BBL look, this curvaceous look, and that's okay. I want us to get back to being comfortable being ourselves, not feeling the pressure to compete with the next person. Can you remember in the early 90s, 2000s when there were just beautiful video vixens that were just naturally themselves? While there were some that were voluptuous and, more full figured, there were also petite women that were praised. They were, not pressured to feel like they need to get work done or get their body done. Everyone was just themselves. Everyone was individual. You had different shapes and sizes that were all appreciated and admired. Fast forward to today.
Tell Zoe she need to go get some booze. My bad. What on to the next.
He told me I need to go get some titties.
She need titties, don't you?
When I saw this clip, I was so irritated because I'm like, first of all, no man should be commenting on a woman's body, first and foremost. Second of all, who are you to say that I'm not happy with having petite breasts or my size? It's not for you to comment, number one, especially they were on a public platform, a stream, I believe, and you're commenting, saying these things about my appearance. When looking at your appearance, you really don't have no room to talk. And that's what I mean. We have to stop caring so much about what other people think and feel about how we look. It's how we feel about ourselves. So unprovoked and so unnecessary. And it's comments that make women feel insecure, make them feel like, I gotta change my body, or, just feeling self-conscious when there's really no need to be at all. She's a beautiful woman. She doesn't need to change anything, and neither do you.
Death of humanity is social media. The reality is we've created a world of FOMO. It's false FOMO. The thing you're missing out isn't even real. The minute you started having 4 million images forced down your throat from whom you were comparing, and then you added filters and Photoshop, it was over.
Now, another impact that social media has on us that we may not be aware of is FOMO. We are so scared that if we don't swipe and we don't get on Instagram, we don't get on TikTok, we're going to miss out what the next person is doing. Now, I'm sure you've heard the term monitoring spirits. That's where someone is stalking your page or keeping up online, watching from a fake page, or not engaging with your content at all. People feel like, okay, it's pretty much you're just surveillancing and wanting to keep up with what I'm doing, but you don't necessarily support me because you don't engage. Now, I agree to a certain extent. Not everyone has to engage with your content. However, I do think that it is kind of weird if you're just watching and never liking my stuff, especially if you consider yourself one of my friends. I think that that's weird. I don't think it should be to the point where it impacts your self-esteem or makes you kind of side-eye the next person, because we're all going through so many different things in life. However, people need to realize that social media, FOMO, comparison, it really can lead to depression. It's led to a lot of disruption when it comes to sleep patterns. It just makes you feel less than, when it's like, social media is not a real place. I think people need to realize that.
You're comparing your life to people who are literally lying online. I moved to LA when I was 20. I'm almost 28 now. I was a baby and I had dreams and hopes, and they all came true. I very quickly found myself in influencer, model, celebrity land. I have worked with people who are very famous. I have dated people who are very famous. I have had friends who are very famous. And I will tell you right now, things are not what they seem. I'm not judging. I really don't give a shit. But you watching this video shouldn't be sitting there comparing your life to theirs. Just trust me when I tell you that all you are seeing is what they want you to see. You are seeing a highlight reel, a very curated one.
If you're not careful, social media will have you thinking you need to have your life all figured out by the age of 21. These men need to be buying you all these bags and trips and all this, that, and the third. And if you're not experiencing what you're seeing, you may feel like, dang, something's wrong with me. For example, I need to change my body so I can get this type of results or this type of money. It plays tricks on your mind. And if you're not careful, you can fall into depression. You can lose sight of who you truly are. And that's why I think it's important to take back control of your life, take that power back that social media may have stolen from you, reclaim your power. Just because you don't get a certain amount of likes on your posts doesn't mean that you're ugly, your outfit wasn't cute. It doesn't mean that you're less than. You don't need external validation to validate yourself. That needs to come from within. That needs to come from God. You shouldn't be worried about how people perceive you.
Social media, it leads to depression. It was leading to depression in my life because comparison is the killer of all joy. For sure. So I was comparing my real life to other people's highlight films, and it was causing me to be depressed.
Social media is just a place to connect. It's just a place to share, your talents and your gifts and things like that. It's not a place where you need to come and feel so stressed out. I know so many people have anxiety about posting online, especially over the years, because of quote unquote monitoring experience, because people don't engage, because on Instagram you have to have such a perfect image that's also unrealistic. The pressure to look a certain way, the pressure to act a certain way, speak a certain way. It has us so scared and anxious to the point where we don't even feel comfortable posting on our page anymore. And I won't lie, I'll spend some hours sometimes doom scrolling or just seeing what people are up to and but I'm not letting it negatively impact me. I'm not letting it, if anything, I'm letting it motivate and encourage me. I'm like, I follow people that I'm inspired by. I follow people that I'm motivated by. And I follow people that's like, I see their content. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. Or I can, it's empowering me rather than stealing from me. And I feel like a lot of people, they are monitoring because they want to keep tabs on people when they could be using this platform as something to elevate their life, elevate their mind, transform their thinking. A place that was once so fun and so light where we were posting our lunch, new shoes that we bought, a new song. It's become a point where we have to get a professional photographer to take our pictures. We have to make sure everything's edited using Facetune, all these different enhancements to where it's just showing you're not being your authentic self. You're not being true to yourself. And when it comes to social media, I think that's what's going to outlast all these trends is being true to who you are.
I'm telling y'all, love yourself how you is first. If you want to tweak, go for it. But make sure it's for you. Find peace within your natural state.
I definitely
Because you're going to find a flaw. And another flaw,
always.
and another flaw, and another flaw. Surgery, any of that stuff is not a permanent fix.
And I think a lot of people think that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're like, oh, if I just get this, I'll be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I know from seeing everybody, that's not the case.
I'm a very much advocate for women in general. Right. Surgery, natural, whatever.
For sure.
However you want to play it. Just make sure that's what you're comfortable with.
So in closing, I just want to leave you with a little bit of perspective. How are you using social media? Are you using it to empower you? Are you using it to make you feel stuck, make you feel less than? What does it do for you? If it's not challenging your thinking, if it's not making you feel inspired or motivated, I think it's time that you reframe your relationship with social media so that it elevates you. A lot of people are struggling with their confidence. They're insecure because of what they're seeing, because they're constantly comparing themselves. And there's no need to be. You are more than enough just as you are. You don't need social media to pressure you. You don't need social media to make you feel like you're not doing enough. Just stay focused, stay locked in with God, and continue to be your authentic self. So you've heard my thoughts. I want to know what you think. Do you feel like social media has too much power and control over our minds, our actions, our influence? Or do you feel like social media is what you make it? I want to know your thoughts. Comment below and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this video, and I will see you in the next one.